Hello everyone, my name is Trevor Molin, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm running for Student Body Vice President. When I came to campus almost 2 years ago, the very first organization that I joined was SGA. Since joining, I have served 2 terms now on the Senate, first as a class senator, and now as my class's vice president. I also serve as the Speaker pro tempore, which is also the assistant to the vice president, the role that I'm now running for. Having worked closely with the current vice president, I've been able to already gain a great understanding for what needs to be done in this role. With all of that said, I feel as though most people, even in SGA, don't really know what the vice president actually does, and I want to change that. The vice president has 2 roles. The first, as the vice president of the student body and of SGA, and the second is as the Speaker of the Senate. In my mind, it is the Speaker's duty, above all else, to empower the Senate. This means training senators to know their rights and responsibilities as they serve, running all SGA business meetings, reviewing all legislation before it's presented to the floor, planning the SGA retreat, and overseeing all of SGA's governing documents. All of this encompasses the role of the student body vice president, and I've had the privilege with working with each of the last 2 vice presidents on this work. To me, the Speaker's role is the one that is inherently SGA. The VP is the person who knows SGA best, who knows every motion that could possibly be made, who knows every next step that should be taken, and knows every rule that needs to be followed. I feel that in my last 2 years of being an SGA, I've become that person. On the other side of the role, the student body vice president. This is the person who's sitting in executive board meetings, who's advising the president and sitting on a number of committees as a representative of the executive membership of SGA. I've been lucky enough to serve on a number of committees already as an SGA representative, so I'm more than ready to take on this responsibility. I've also been able to advise my class president as class vice president currently, though I know this isn't exactly the same. This side of the vice president, at least in my experience, is a lesser role than the Speaker's role. Regardless of which role is the bigger one, this is going to be a balancing act that I've seen both of the last 2 vice presidents struggle with, and I'm sure I'll do the same. But I see this struggle as being another part of the vice president's job, and I see this as a responsibility that I'm more than ready to take on. Though I do think my experience in SGA is integral to my qualification for the vice president's job, it's not all that matters. I've been lucky enough to serve as the co-coordinator of Elon Votes for the past year. This experience has been one that has transformed the way that I think, not just about politics, as well as my life, but also leadership. The nonpartisanship of the role on Elon Votes has been something that has taught me to take a step back from my beliefs and better understand issues. I took this outside of politics as I began to take a step back from my feelings and better understand where I was coming from and the reason I felt the way that I did. This has made me a much more content and calmer person because of it. In terms of leadership, being co-coordinator was the first time I was in a leadership role on Elon's campus. Here, I was able to learn how to help guide and advise people who are working towards the same goal as me, helping register as many people to vote as possible. This is something that I see translating seamlessly to my work as vice president, just on a greater scale with a different mission, representing the student body. For the past 3 months, I've sat on an ad hoc committee within the Senate reviewing our governing documents. Hopefully you've heard that we've proposed an overhaul to our Constitution that passed through the Senate on February 25th. The passage of this Constitution is now in the hands of the voters, you, and I hope that you can vote for its passage as well. If you do, part of the next vice president's job will be forming and chairing an ad hoc committee, which will be writing our bylaws and other governing documents for SGA. This responsibility is this responsibility and everything that goes into transitioning SGA over to a new model is likely going to be one of the great legacies of this office. As someone who has been in all of the discussions and decisions that were had and made in the committee, I want nothing more to be able to chair this new committee and see through the formation of a new SGA. I see this new Constitution as being necessary in SGA's roles to make itself an organization that is more equitable, more action-oriented, and create better transparency between SGA and the student body. The reasons that SGA needed this change stems from structural issues that senators have seen through my entire time of serving on SGA. And I believe that the Senate needs to be in the best shape possible so senators can carry out the change that they were elected for. And with all of that being the duty of the Vice President, ensuring the smooth functioning and empowerment of the Senate, I believe that I'm the person who's most qualified to do so. So please, vote Trevor Molin for student body vice president.